Hi, I'm Dan Costa, the Chief Content Officer at Worth Media Group, and I am here with Stephen Orr, the CEO of Quasar Markets. Stephen, thanks so much for coming.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, man.
Beautiful day in Davos, the sun is shining.
Look at this.
There's
How
snow
nice
on the
is
ground.
It? Yeah.
Let's talk about money.
Okay.
The Quasar Markets. Tell me what Quasar does and what makes it different from all the other firms out there.
You know, I've had an amazing career working in fintech over 30 years. And, you know, one of the things that I've always said is I wanted to shrink the world a little bit, right? I wanted to make it a lot easier for people around the world to be able to communicate, to be able to understand, be educated, and get news that's correct and in the way that they want to see it, whether that's Android or Apple or their iPhone or Oculus. It didn't matter to me, right? I wanted to create a place that was a place where they can communicate with each other and have real data, real news, and on top of that, add AI to everything, right? So that makes it a lot easier for them to get the answer they want and to give them more questions to ask and give them a better answer to a better question.
So obviously, you know, we live in a time of a lot of disinformation.
Sure.
Especially when it comes to spending money and investing money, there's a lot of junk out there. Like, where do you get your data? Where do you get your information?
That's a great question. That's exactly right. I want to make sure that my data comes exactly from where they're asking it from, whether that's Edgar or Fred or the UN or WAC in this case, right? I want to make sure that the AI is the opposite. We know that AI hallucinates. So what if I could take AI and place it on top of the actual databases so the AI can't get outside of those databases? So we get the actual data, get a better data, and get a better answer.
So that seems like a different way of applying AI, the way most people are using it just to generate questions and answers, but you're actually using it to sort of filter the data.
Yeah, you know, that's what I've always said. You know, look, I understand that ChatGPT creates a whole function around write me a poem and a song and draw me a picture. That's great and all, but what I wanted to do is make it life a little bit easier for me. If I'm having to study a stock symbol, I'm looking at options, I'm looking at futures, or I'm looking at the news, or I'm looking at weather or sports, I want the real answer from the real databases, giving me a clearer picture that I know that I can trust, as opposed to, well, I used ChatGPT, I'm not sure if it's right, but I'll go with it. I don't like that answer. I want the different answer. I want to be above board from everything else that we're doing. I want to make sure we go to the next level. AI agents, Web3, you name it, we're doing it.
So who is your target customer? Is it the everyman who's just getting involved in investing, or is it a professional trader?
Yeah, I always say it's not B2B, it's not B2C, it's B2X. I want to be to everything. Think of it like this. If you're institutional, we'll have institutional data on it. If you're a retail trader, great, we'll have retail data on there. If you don't even know anything about the markets, you can still be on there because weather and sports and everything else, and you can learn. And I want to create a place where it didn't matter who you were. I wanted to create a lifestyle platform.
Mm-hmm. So you just got back from Japan.
Yeah.
Going international is one of the things you've been focused on recently. Tell me a little bit about that expansion, because a lot of fintech firms are, you know, limited to one nation.
That's right. Yes, the United States is definitely leading in AI, but I want to democratize the news itself. I want to shrink the world a little bit, right? I always said this, when I was in Japan, I said this, look, almost everybody in Japan knows how to invest in the New York markets, but not everybody in the United States knows how to invest or open an account in Japan or Saudi Arabia, or, you know, in our case, we've got over 30 countries already, and we're growing that pretty fast. And if I can do that and put it in their language, how cool would that be to be able to let them see our data, we can see their data, and make a better picture of ourselves?
So international expansion's obviously on the to-do list. What other plans do you have for Quasar?
Yeah, definitely Web3, blockchain. What if you could think of it like this? Wall Street analysts have to prove what they got, right? You got to make it compliant. I wanted to create compliance so that the machine itself knows how the person got their answer. We're doing that too as well. I also want to build the blockchain out of it too as well, which we're doing right now actually. And we wanted to create a place where you can have multiple databases and multiple pieces of information coming in at the same time, because right now we as people are getting better and better at ingesting data and news, and I want to be able to be ahead of that, which we are. And we've already won 4 awards, I might want to add.
Nice, very nice. So what are your strategic priorities for the future? What are the next steps?
I want to be the Amazon of finance. I believe that a lot of fintech companies are struggling right now, and so in that struggle, they might not have a good website, they might not have a good module or a platform. A lot of companies have great charting or great news, but I want to upgrade them. So we partnered with a company called Kiwi Tech and WebMob, and we made that easy, seamless, because in the past I had a few developers. Now I've got a lot of developers, and we're building lots of things at the same time, right? And so I also want to help those other fintech firms also come up too as well.
Excellent. So if people want to find out more about Quasar, where do they go?
Quasarmarkets.com, and come say hi.
All right, Steve, so thanks so much for taking the time here. It was great seeing you at Davos, and I'm sure we're going to be talking more in the future.
100%.
Perfect. I'm Dan Costa with Worth Media Group. We've got more content on YouTube and on worth.com. Thanks for joining us.